I've decided I need to find out if this is a failure or flop. This is just uh, kind of a catch up with this one. I have not tried to demold it until now. So you're going to see what I'm going to see. Let's just see what happens. It is still quite soft, but it is cured. It's because there's not a whole lot of resin here. And so I don't want to demold the spiders just yet, but I'm going to have to. The spiders themselves turned out hard. I can feel that. And I don't know if you can see, but the red painted faces actually did fare out pretty well. They're just barely there, but they are there. This one did slightly better. I don't know if it needs a different background to see it on. Wish I could actually see the camera itself, or not the camera, but the viewpoint. And the little fuzzy spider turned out pretty good. All right, here goes the test of time, right? I am hoping for a wispy turnout here. And of course, some of these pieces just aren't going to make it. That one is broken. Let's try to get this piece there, there. Of course, this piece wasn't going to be attached at all, but I decided to fill it in anyway. Oops, I just broke that one because my thumbnail was on it. As long as I get most of it, I'll be happy. Yeah, that one's just going to break out of there to get it out. Now, the way you can do this is to put a border of tape around it or some such thing. Then that way you can just fill it completely in. Maybe if I try stretching it just a little bit, that'll help release everything. Smaller areas, of course, are just not going to be able to make it. And the key is to be as slow as you can. Lift in only the stronger areas that you know are stronger because they're thicker. Go around as you need to. Now, certain areas do break, but don't break off. It shouldn't be too hard to stitch them back together with maybe some UV resin, but spider webs aren't perfect, although they're close to perfect when they're first built. Kind of maybe stretch as you go here. Remember, this was just a fondant mold, or for chocolate. Although I don't see how it would stay together for that purpose either. It needed to have a slightly thicker, wider paths. Okay, it's lifted. And the finished product with a little bit of gloss. Let me go ahead and put this on a card. It is very delicate, so you'll have to handle it that way. And there it is. Get up a little closer. And no, I don't mind the blobs. That does help give it strength. And it looks like things are caught in it. So I am happy with that. Now the reason for this video is, yes, it's one of the 31 days of Halloween videos. This is number 6. And because I'm doing more delicate items again. This one here has a frog. Excuse me. A pumpkin, a witch's hat, a cauldron, a spell book, a broom, skull and crossbone. I think that's what that is. Oh, no, it's a crystal ball. The witch and 2 witch shoes. Now, do you see how intricately done and thin this is for the shoes? It is terribly done. The broom has a very tiny space as well. Whoops. So that's going to be done. And I'm probably going to do both of these so that I could get different color bats and ghosts. I'm going to try to get, there's no such thing as white mica unless you can find titanium mica, which is difficult to find on places like Temu. You'd have to search just the internet in general. But I want white for the ghosts, so it's going to end up being silver. The pumpkin's orange, of course. The bats black, and I will spread them to make sure that they get full coverage. Because some of these are just barely there bats. And then, of course, the stars, I'm going to go yellow. Oh, that one didn't get cleaned out all the way. Let's get that out real quick so I don't forget. The moons are going to go, I don't know, I guess the silver, you know, by the light of the silvery moon. Yeah, you guys don't want to hear me. I don't want to hear me. Yuck. And the others, there's this spider. I don't like the style of the spider, but I'll do it anyway. And then I want to do 2 of the hands and at least 2 of the bats. So I will do some pausing in between. All right, everybody. I'm going to get set up all the way, and I'll be right back. Okay, before I get started mixing resin, as you can see, I have 4 4 mil pipettes. That's for filling up all these little itty bitty little things. Pair of gloves. I do have my painter's mask. I'm not using mica today. Excuse me. Instead, I am using acrylic paints for coloration. I know you cannot use a lot of it in resin because of the water content. So today I have Arteco acrylic paint in pearl white. I have the Rich Art acrology. Okay, my goodness. In white, of course. That's in this cup right here. I don't know if you're going to be able to see all the cups, but that's in that one. I have the Apple Barrel Pumpkin Orange again. And that is in this one. Apple Barrel Yellow. And that's in this one. And then the Rich Art Acrology Black. That way I can get a more opaque black than the last time. I do have my two leftovers skulls, waste not, want nots. And they're ready to have more poured into them. And as you can see, I got them poured at almost the same level. Whoa. And so I'm going to try that trend some more. However, I'm not sure which way I want to go. If I want more black added in, and if so, I have to add my black paste. If not, I'm thinking about going with the pearl white so that it has a bit of a shimmer to the white portion. But that would probably look goofy, but who knows? Okay, so I'm going to put you on pause one more time. I'm going to get my resin measured out and get it stirred and mixed thoroughly, and then I'll be back after I've added some to each one of these little cups, and we'll see at that time if that's the opaqueness or whatever I'm going to need. Now, I did add extra black for the black because the spider is going in black. The two bats are going in black. The witch's hat, the cauldron is going in black. And the shoes are going to go in black. And of course, any bats in here are going to go black. All right, I'll be back in a few moments. Okay, I brought you back for the last one here. Now, the Rich Art stuff from Family Dollar, it doesn't like to mix very opaque at all. This is the color I got with the white. It is really translucent, but it's ghost, so it'll help. The orange for the pumpkin. This is the Apple Barrel Pumpkin Orange. And it stayed somewhat translucent, but a little bit brighter looking. The same thing with the yellow. And now I'm about ready to mix up the black and see how opaque that has become. Because I do need a lot more black than any other color. So I ended up adding 3 drops. And I'm filling the containers this way to try to prevent overfilling, since they're very small and flimsy. Trying to guesstimate. Because I got the two large black bats. I've got the spider. And then I got all the itty bitty black bats. And the things I'm going to concentrate on filling up are in the larger groups. I want those filled up first. Okay, my resin is still good right now. I've got almost all the bubbles out. And how I did it was after I pumped the resin and the hardener into their separate containers, I let them sit until most of the bubbles dissipated. I do have everything on my heat mat because my home is a little cold. Winter is starting to set in, so it's only 75 degrees in here. Definitely not optimal. And this is definitely not dark enough. So I'm going to go ahead and add one more drop. I don't want to add too much liquid because that messes things up royally. Your resin will not cure. Yeah, these cups collapse quickly. Now, before I begin pouring these, because these are shallower, they're not going to heat up as much as what this big cup is going to. And I'm just going to do whatever these things fill. I'm going to start out with the largest item and get that filled in first, because my cup will heat up a lot faster being that deep. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and add in my black here. Get it stirred up. Get it dumped in. Scrape any excess off onto the stir stick. Go ahead and wipe my little stick down again. Wipe off my finger where I accidentally got it here on the side. And it does stain, so you got to be careful about that. I'm trying to match the opacity in, okay, I just did it again, in the skulls that are there already. Get this closed up because it looks like I've gotten where I need to go. Oh, definitely. Scrape. so that you're completely mixed. Now remember, this is not a deep pour resin I'm using. This is the 1-to-1 crystal clear. And so now I'm just going to find out where that seam is and pinch opposite of it. And then I'm going to pour the small one first, and I have to look at its face sideways so that I can see the level I'm at. You don't want to over pour. Okay, that's as far as it's going to go. The rest goes into here. Gonna let that settle for a second so I can see where it's at. All right, they're about the same level again. So I'm going to go ahead and use a little of this, what's left. Well, I'll mix it with the spider. That ought to be fun. I know if my hand's in the way, I'm really sorry. Okay, we let that eke itself out a little bit. Don't want too huge a cleanup today because I am trying to back these so that I can go to an eye doctor appointment a week from this coming Monday and get started on getting my new glasses here. I've had to change optometrist, not because I've not been there in all these years, but because the last time I went where I got these glasses, what they did was my frames cost me $800. That's not including the lenses. That was the frames. They were extremely expensive because they have springs and all that stuff, so that because I have a kind of a larger head and my body swells, and unfortunately that causes me problems. So I have to have expandable solutions. Now I'm going to move these three out of the way really quick here. And I'm going to take this stick and I'm going to go ahead and shove the black into there a little bit. Try to make sure there's no possibilities of bubbles getting trapped. I can feel the black getting a slight bit warm. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and fill the larger of the two bats. Not as full as it can be right now. I am sorry if my hands get in the way. I am on a time frame right now because my last video for the 5th, today's video, took me 4.5 hours to upload and process in YouTube. So I almost didn't make it in time for it to be released at 1:01 a.m. So I am going to try my best to get this one in on time. Into the tips we go. Whoops. A little bit over. But that's all right too. There's a bubble. And take a little bit out for a moment. Take a little bit out of that one. Let's go ahead and concentrate on the cauldron. The witch's hat. And her boots. And remember, the more intricate the mold, the more the bubbles get trapped. So you do need to do something to make sure you get into those corners and sides and edges and all that stuff. And yes, you can twist and turn. This back heel area is going to be the hardest to make sure it gets filled. So you just pull that away from there. Get it to run in. Look for the bubbles. I'll get this all finished up and then I'll put the heat mat on. Okay, I'll probably have to do a little bit of cleanup on each of these items, but that's all right too. Yeah, they're somewhat domed. The cauldron could use just a little bit more. I said a little bit. Not a gargantuan bit. See if I can get a couple of these bats. They are so difficult. And I'm just going to push this down in here. And I think with what I have left over, I can put it in the skulls. Maybe get a little bit in her hat here. And then try to match it into there with another color, I guess, the white. All right, I'm going to go ahead and pour the rest of this in to these two molds. Just a little bit in this one, a little bit more in this one. And I can't go any deeper for sure. Okay. What I did was I decided to use disposable things today because of time frame. I had a late start. I had a Temu haul come in, so you'll see that sometime tomorrow. Okay, let me get a wet wipe here. I did have a few, but I cleaned out things as I went. I forgot to restock it. Nothing like putting resin in with the wet wipes, right? Get this washed up. So I'm not sticking to everything. Okay, let's get to these others before they get too hot. Now the yellow, of course, is meant for the moon. White for the stars. So I don't want too much on my stick while I pour that in. And sadly, I've got to look for the moons. And hope I find them. I don't think I'll be using the other mold. Okay, let's scrape it down in there. Tip to tip. Okay, I see a few more moons. Like I said, if it goes over, that's all right because I can do the cleanup. I do it all the time. However, after I get my new glasses, I will be able to do cleanup even better. Okay, that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 moons. If I remember, that was all the moons there are. So this is going to be fun because I am going to take a little bit of this yellow and dump it down the front here. And then I'm going to take a little bit of the yellow and dump it down the front in here. There's a great probability it will go yuck. But we will see, because the last time I said it will go yuck, it actually turned out pretty darn good. All right, wipe my fingers off again. Let's get to the orange. Well, let's go for the white first. Into the hand mold. And this is where you definitely got to rub down a little bit harder. And try to remove hair. There we go. Hold on to it a little bit. Yeah, spread it so it fills in. All the while, rub at the bottom because it's got all those little intricate areas there to trap bubbles. Okay, go up. Little bony fingers. And yes, for the sake of time, I am trying to hurry. I will start the 7th project tonight before I go to bed. I've got no other choice. Well, I don't know if I'm going to get the little itty bitty ghosties in here, but we will try. Especially if we don't put it in the pumpkin, huh? And yes, make sure you top them a little bit, because they are kind of fragile for some reason. Okay, any more ghosts? Yes, there's one. And please let me know that if you want to watch the process or if you just want to get to the end. Because, you know, unless you tell us things we don't know. I'm going to go ahead and use white in her hair. No. Well, yeah, white in her hair and face, I guess. But I'm not going to fill it that way completely. I just want to make sure I get all the bubbles out. All right, there's not that much here, so I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing with the white into the skull. Okay, that one's done. And now we're down to the orange. And I need to wipe off my fingers because that stick stuck to me. Okay, I am at 40 minutes now. So I'm going to hurry up, get this orange poured, and get that a-going. Get it started back up again real quick. Get this pumpkin poured. Not the frog. We want the pumpkin. These itty bitty little pumpkins. I didn't get any stars. Oh well. A little bit more in this pumpkin. Now, I'm going to do something really strange because, you know, it is Halloween. Oh, what about an orange spell book? All right, a little bit of orange into the two skulls. Do some cleanup after I put you guys on pause and the stuff gets cured. All right, see you in a little bit. Okay, it's been on the heat mat 3 hours. I shouldn't have any problem removing them. They might be a little soft, but that's probably about it. I did test it about an hour ago and did come up with a little bit of really softness going on with this hand. So I'm going to go ahead, pull them off the heat mat, let them cool for about, oh, I don't know, half hour to an hour, and I'll be right back. Okay, here's another don't. Don't have your cutting mat underneath the heat mat. There is a huge warp in my heat mat right now. So I'm going to put something on it to press it down so that while it cools, I've got to put some really heavy stuff on it here. Don't know exactly what, but I'll figure something out. All right, back as soon as I can demold. Okay, I'm back. I did get this pressed down. It did put my mat back in shape, so I'm happy. And as you can tell, we're getting ready to demold. I wanted to get this out of the way so it'd be a lot easier. Now, at first we're going to do the brighter colored ones so that we can do it on here. All right, so we're going to get these out, the pumpkins. That one seemed to have gotten just a little bit of overpour. Or was that supposed to be, I think that might have supposed to have been the stem. No, I don't see a stem in it, so nope, yeah, it was a stem. The other one doesn't have a stem. This one doesn't have a stem. And neither does this one. Okay, so the mold is a little sticky. I'll have to clean it really thoroughly with soap and water. But these are completely cured. So I'm going to turn them a little bit. They look yellow up on the camera. Sorry, everybody. It's not supposed to be looking yellow. They are orange. So let's pull out the moons. Yes, I did get some overpour on the moons. So let's see if we can pull one off here real quick. And that's definitely a yellow moon. So that yellow compared to the orange. Well, I'm going to have to watch my own video. But yeah, there is a difference. So let's pull all the moons. I will do the cleanup on the moons later. I won't put you all through all that. There's another one. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 moons. And then the ghosts. Didn't come out that bad this time. A lot better defined. I will put it up there when I get them all demolded and show you all. And then the bat, of course. Pop it open a little bit so he demolds faster and better. And yes, some overpour, but this time the bat isn't pulling apart. Okay. Oh, let me see what else. Let's go with the pumpkin from the other mold. It came out pretty well. Let's go with the spell book. And it does say Book of Spells on it. I know it's going to be difficult to see that. And of course, the cauldron. It did get a bubble in it, but it kind of looks cool, I guess. The witch's hat. Came out nicely. Well, let's see if we can get the witch's boots out. As I said, they're very thin in that area, so pretty bad, I think. But it did come out. too bad they didn't face different directions. That would have been nice. The other witch's shoe. Boot. Oh, look at that. I brought up a cat hair with me. Still a little bendy, so it gets to sit a little bit longer, but it's got a lot of detail in it. And then the witch. Let's see how she comes out with all three colors. Well, not so bad. Sometimes little experiments do work. All right, that's those done. Let's go with the other black items. This may be a little difficult. Oh my goodness. I should shove that down that way. Okay, I think I got it loose. And that's the spider. Legs are slightly bendy. And now the bat. Then we have just the hand to go. I do like the translucency that was achieved there without even trying, especially when I tried for opaque. But let's get this where you can see it better. All right, now the hand. The hand is the one that's not been curing so quickly because of the thinness of the fingers. Oh, I like that. Definitely needs a darker background to be seen well. All right, coming up. Watch it all slide off of as I tilt it for the camera. Yep, I thought so. Let's see if I can get it better there. Sorry about all the lights. Here, let me turn some of this down and okay, that's a lot better. Still, oh. Can you come in here and turn off the main light for me? Thank you. Oh, that did a lot better. All right, get them up as close as I can without losing it all the way. There we go, a little bit less shine. Can't tell which way this is sitting. Alrighty. Well, that's that for day 6. I appreciate all of you for watching. You know, if you like it, thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. Thank you to all my subscribers and the new ones. Bless your little hearts, honest. Comment, please. And what's that other one? Share? All right. Happy 6th day of Halloween. And peace out.